Hello, and just fixing my microphone. Welcome to PLO night. We haven't had PLO night in a couple of weeks because we had to cancel last week. But today we are back on track, and the latest share crowdfunding is around $90 or so. So we're going to play PLO 10 today and stick with that no matter what happens, unless we win a lot of money pretty soon. But I'm going to open a few tables and let's see how it goes. And now we have 4 tables open. If you don't remember, when you are commenting about the hands or actions or anything, please say the table number 1, 2 on the top, 3, 4 on the bottom, because we have a couple of minutes delay. So for security reasons, if you just comment without telling me what hand you are talking about, I have no idea what you're talking about. So here we go, and I'm probably going to open 1 or 2 tables to outside, just so we will have more action. There's Ice Hockey World Championship going on. We don't have a live stream here, so I'm just going to watch Sweden-Canada game from the live ticker. Probably keep it here, and every time when Canada makes a goal, I will cheer a bit, because in Canada we trust. If you have any questions, comments about PLO poker, life, ice hockey, whatever, please use the chat. The more you speak in the chat, the better it is. Because it's always a lot nicer to host a coaching when there's someone talking about stuff and there's discussion, and I know that at least someone is watching this. And I'm going to open the Twitch chat too. So if someone is watching this through Twitch, you can use the chat to comment or say hi, whatever you wish to. And let's open the 5th table here, and then the ice hockey ticker to here. All right. Here on table 2, I'm actually going to call with really crappy jacks because we have high VPIP players behind, and after we call, this is going to be multi-way pot quite often, and we can set mine jacks. With pocket tens I would fold. Jacks is quite marginal. With queens it's a lot easier call, but if we hit the set, it's often the top set, and in multi-way pot we get easier value. Now we just missed the board, so we give up unless we hit the jack on the turn. I was just about to say that if we hit the jack on the turn, it's still the nuts, so I'm just going to get it in. And I don't want to slow play, because pretty much everything from deuce is only a card that doesn't complete a straight. And now he shoves. And I'm not afraid of this guy, I'm afraid that this guy might have kings, but if he has, then be it. Because he shouldn't have kings ever. Yeah, and he had kings. And he had open ender and he won the pot. Yeah. So, first big pot, and we had 3% equity. Not exactly what we should be aiming for, but set versus set, yeah, with pocket jacks it happens some of the time, but for him having kings there, it's pretty unlucky. And it happens. He was trying to check raise the flop, so I think that I'm just going to call on table 4 and see what happens on the turn, because we have position. If I was this Captain Kaput and here was some other player, I think the outcome would be exactly the same. I would check the flop and then bet shove the turn. So it's not a mistake that costs us money in the long run. Here he's probably going to barrel the turn because it's totally blank. So I'm going to call the turn. And now any river that completes any draw is really bad bluff card for him. But he decides to bet. We have 2 pairs, so we are actually at the top of our bluff catching range. So it's so small bet sizing if he had a straight, so might be a blocker bet, but I'm going to call him. And he had a misdraw. So it's a lot easier call when he bets pretty quickly, and with that bet sizing, it's so strange that if he actually had a straight he wouldn't think a bit, or if he had some kind of set or 2 pair he wouldn't think what to do here. Here on the turn we actually pick up a wrap and we have the flush draw, so I'm just going to pot. If he raises we have equity to call. And if he calls, there's going to be so many good turns for us, good rivers. And if he folds, we win the pot with jack high, which is always not a bad outcome. And here we hit the nuts on the river. I'm going to try to, he's unknown, so I'm trying to induce him to make some kind of bluff. Because if I bet big, it's hard for him to call, and he calls me with, oh, he hit the straight ace-5. So that's one of the hands that he will call even if I bet bigger, but if he has misdraw, he might raise me when I bet such a small amount. At least try to get something out of him. If it was a good regular, I probably wouldn't bet those small bets on the river. I would bet just slightly higher. Wow. He's going with the cut shot on a paired board. Sweden, Canada is still 1-0 for Sweden. And now everyone who's watching could say hi on the chat, so I know if I'm talking by myself here. Or if I am talking by myself, then at least there's no reason for telling you what the outcome of the match is, or what happened in the ice hockey game, because you're probably watching this a lot later on YouTube. Here's a neath, another neath. Well, at least we have at least one green player on every table. Now there's something wrong with the chat on Twitch. So I have no idea if the stream is visible or not. On table 2 we open kings, and I'm making a c-bet. Of course, if he doesn't have ace, we have the best hand, but we are out of position. And if we check, he can check behind. If he has 8, etc., he might call me. He might have some kind of jack 9 that he's going to 45 bet. Or he might have some real random hands that we can just make him fold. So if I check, I kind of give the pot to him. So I don't like to check, although we have pretty much just air on this pot. If he calls, it's really hard to win the pot anymore. Unless he calls with some kind of king-queen type of hand that doesn't improve. But here, although the board is really scary for us, it's easier to bet than just give up. And we have the blocker to not flush, but he's 45-9. So he's not the type of opponent that we are at least, or ever even going to try blocker play. Here, some kind of unknown Russian guy donks half a pot, or slightly over half a pot. I'm not going to call. I have no information. If he donks a lot, then I will see it in his stats after a few hands, and we can adjust and print money out of him. Table 1, we flop the nuts. Hello to Jepuis. And we do get action. On the turn we have pretty much the nuts. And now just how to get the best value. Often betting is better than trying to be tricky. And he's going to fold often, but even if we check, he's going to fold often on the river. And if he has a draw, it's easier to get value on the turn when his draw is alive than on the river when he misses his draw. And we flop the nuts on table 3. And when he checks, half a pot bet looks really bluffy, and if he folds, it's horrible. Wow. He should c-bet that board unless he has a set or something that he's going to turn into bluff catching hand. But just giving up on monotone boards in heads up pot is just horrible. Okay, the Twitch is not working. I'm going to tell it to Arni, Metsä and Deja so they can do their magic. Not sure if they are online. So I have no idea if you are seeing anything. Probably not. But at least you can watch it on YouTube. What the crap? Sweden is up by 3. Jesus Christ, look at this. Boom bang. Oh, that sucks. So at least people can watch it on YouTube. I don't know if we have to restart or something, but So I'm waiting for the instructions. Dum 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 dum. Well, at least the poker is going great, but ice hockey is going down. Stream is going down. The first period is just about to end and Canada has only 3 shots to the goal. Oh, now it works. Okay. So now if Twitch works, I really hope that Team Canada will work too. Table 2, we are up against assumed fish. So I'm going to open with pretty much every hand that can work as value hands. And here overpair with the cut shot, definitely going to call. Here I'm going to bet, and Morito doesn't fold in a lot on 6 hands, but he likes to overplay top pairs, so I'm going to barrel the turn. And I think he's going to fold a lot of his hands on the turn. Yeah. He kind of loves overpairs, so on that board with kings queens he's probably going to call 1 bet, and then when I barrel he's just going to fold a ton. So I assume that Twitch is working, right? And like here, against 2 fishes, no reason to open this hand. We will open wide against calling stations, but I like to open hands that can hit so hard that we can actually value bet. So high card value or wraps or something decent. Because if we open this crap and the flop is something like Queen 5-4 and we bet, it's kind of hard to know if he has a better hand than we. But if we have high cards and the flop is Queen Jack 5 and we have Queen Jack, we can definitely value bet flop and turn. In table 1 we have a nice hand. Let's see if we can 3-bet it. And I'm actually going to 3-bet it. If I call it's going to be 4-way pot and the pot would be 1.8, we still can't check raise all in on the flop. So I much rather bet, and if we hit the set, we can often get good value because people think we don't have the hand that hits the board. But now we can code 4-bet, so yeah, he has aces. For sure, and then the thing is that we call and we stack off on if we have any flush draw, open ender set. And we get open ender, so I'm just donking and at least create some folding equity, but oh, he had kings with flush draw. And we hit the straight, but he had a flush. But we had 7s and 10s and now, so we had 27%, which is good enough. And ace is on 2 and 4. Here I'm actually going to bet the turn on table 4 because he has a lot of flush draws. He has more flush draws in his range than straight draws. On table 3 I'm going to just check raise. We have top 2 and flush draws, so I'm just going to get it in here. And he has a wrap and makes it, but we have the flush, so we won the pot there. Another ace is on table 2. Now it's just ace fest. Aces everywhere. Oh, it's... was someone else that had huge stats. So Deja is doing her magic. So she's going to give you a new address where you can watch. Here 17-7 need 3 bets. I'm just going to fold kings. So you will get a new address where you can watch the rest of the coaching. And now we wait. Crowd is saying fuck. I'm not sure if he's referring to the stream or to the Sweden-Canada match. But I think you can say fuck on either case. Not sure if any of you have watched Daniel Negreanu's own stream where he's masturbating with cucumber and using onions as breast, or I don't know what perverted things he was doing, but I'm not going to masturbate with cucumber or any other object or part of my body, so you're safe with me. On table 1, 3-betting this hand is quite close, but often we can value if we hit. Calling is definitely a good option to see if we hit the set. And here this board just hits his range so hard that it's almost impossible for him to totally miss this board. So Jack 10-6 is so scary board that I'm just going to give up. And here, now when the river pairs, I can represent aces and make him fold some kind of King Jack, King 10 type of hands that he just doesn't have value. And he had pocket king. Oh, he had a 7-2. But he thought a lot, so if he has just pair kings, I'm not sure if he can fold, but if he has a 10 or 6 or like pocket 9s, he might, or he should fold it. So on the river I can represent aces. I would definitely bet aces there. But he actually had double suited kings, which he didn't want to 4-bet me. Would be interesting if the river is like 6 of hearts. Would he call with pocket kings there? Because he thought with the 7. And then I don't know why he thinks he can't raise it. And I don't think he should ever fold it. So he doesn't really have options. I think raising there is quite thin value. Because aces is the top of my range. Oh, all the tables are pretty bad, so I'm going to change few of them. Actually, every table has gone really bad. I'm going to close table 2. Table 3 is pretty nice. Table 4. It's kind of... because there are few good players, but then there are one neat, one side passive, and one regular. Table 1 double suited kings. I'm going to open, and now he shoves, so if anyone calls, I'm going to reshove, because if they call, I'm ahead of their range. I'm not sure what he's going to. 4-bet probably aces, but we can fold 226 in the pot of 10, so definitely call. And we have 30% or something. And we don't suck out. So that happens, but when the kings are double suited and we 3-bet and we have to pay $2.8 in the pot of 10, of course we're going to stack off. Because he has ace in his range, but he can have a lot more. You never know from these shorties. Now I'm going to open a few tables and then we can close some of the bad ones. Table 1, we have this Villa 17. He's a good customer, but then we have 2 tied tied players here, so not sure. Table 4, I'm going to see, but we have the cut shot. And it's so dry board that we can definitely bet for protection. And now someone min raises. And we could call and continue on hearts, aces, and 4s. So that's about 13 cards. 14, 1 out of 3. Pot is open. I'm going to peel the turn. And sometimes, like if he has 2 pairs, he's going to shut down on the turn and we can see the river. But now he bets big, so it really looks like a set here. And when we don't pick up the flush draw or 6, that helps us. Or even 9 gives us double cut shot. We just have to fold here. On the outside table, we call from the button pre-flop and we hit the trips. And of course 2 people call, so we should be worried about pocket queens, but you never know. This guy is shorty. Queen 5. If someone has 5 duels, we have 9 outs, and I just can't fold here. And he had the pocket queens. He had aces, so yeah, he called with wide range, and he had the kings, but he might easily have 5x. So another setup there. The good thing is that they are shorties. If you want to see the bright side. But yeah, that was third setup so far for a stack. Table 3, I'm c-betting. We have the middle pair and cut shot, and again it's an ace high board. So if he doesn't have ace, he might fold, and he's going to fold a lot of equity. And obviously if we check, then it really opens the turn for him to bluff no matter what the turn is. And now when we check the river, he knows we don't have a set or ace queen. So it's a good card for him to bluff if he wants to bluff. And if he bets, then it's just a matter of do we want to bluff catch or not. And now when he checks, it's an easy check behind. And he had ace queen himself. If I were him, I would probably raise the flop. Because the problem with pair ace queen is that his hand is not going to improve by the river. He has 4 outs to improve to a full house, so if he takes the passive line on the river, he has a weak bluff catcher. And if board doesn't pair, or well, he has a backdoor flush draw, but if the board doesn't pair, probably some kind of draw hits there on the river. And then it's really hard for him to play. Here on table 3, an active guy 3 bets. But I don't want to 4-bet him yet, and he is under 100 pp's. So I'm just going to call this in position and see if we hit the set. And we don't. And he bet no, we're going to call for 10 cents, sure. Table 4, we hit the full house on the turn, so we bet definitely, and on the river we bet, and he probably has a flush. Yeah, 9 high flush, and calls turn and river when the board pairs. So I'm going to give him a green. It's nice to get a lot of value from him. On the outside table, we tried to bluff a guy that calls down with pocket jacks when it's an overpair. Here on table 4, we have this bottom set and 5 and 6, so we actually have only 5 outs to full house, and he pots. I just have to fold because we block so many of our own outs. And on the table 3 we pick up a cut shot and the flush draw, and he bets under half a board. I'm going to call. And then probably goes check check. 20 cents. Can we beat anything? I'm going to call 20 cents and then make a note what he had there on the turn. And he had weak 2 pairs. And then make a note on his river bet. So now with that bet sizing I know something about his possible hand strength. And in Sweden, Canada second period started, and looks like Canada has created a lot of shots at the start of the period. I'm going to call instead of 3-betting here. And then on the turn, definitely we bet. And he just gives up. Kind of strange. On table 3, board is really scary, but I'm going to c-bet it. Just make him fold some kind of over pairs. I mean over cards. And that kind of hands. And it worked. On table 1, I open this sort of crappy hand. Button is really tight, and then we have position to these calling stations. And we hit 2 pairs, big flush draw, not cut shot, all kinds of stuff. And we hit a call. And we hit the 4 house on the turn, and again we have no information on our opponent. If I had even air, I would probably barrel this turn, so I'm going to barrel it even when I have a made hand. Wow. He cannot have the nut flush. He can definitely have aces. I'm actually going to fold my 4 house here. Because I don't think he's ever going to... I have no information on him. I need to be right 1 out of 3 times. What would he donk here without a 4 house? When I bet the turn, I'm going to fold. Looks really like ace jack or pocket aces. Because if he calls the turn with the flush draw, he's not going to put it to me river, because the highest can be queen high flush draw. And why would he bet anything else on the river when I bet such a big bet on the turn? Of course he might be bluffing, but that's just so horrible bluff spot. Yes, we block the jacks. He might have jack 9. Why would he not shove the turn? Looks like ace jack or pocket aces. During that hand we have the flop nuts on table 2 and we check raise the flop, get some calls and we pot the turn and just won the pot. Here on table 3 I'm going to barrel the turn, because I can represent strong hands a lot more than this chip freak. And he raises, wow. People are just hitting the flops. And we're gonna min 3 bet from, he has 4 bet kings so far. I'm actually going to click back to him because we are 140 BBs deep. So if he raises here, I know for sure he has aces and it's really profitable for me. And now we hit top pair and wrap, so I'm just going to shove. And if he has aces with flush draw, then we are flipping. Now we pick up the flush draw on the turn, so I'm just going to give him maximum pressure. And he has ace, ace, jack, 8. Wow. He had 53 on the turn. That was an, well, we got the money in with the flip, so we shouldn't be that worried about, but the play he made is really horrible. I'm just going to make that can't fold aces on scary board. Wow, that was really bad. Bad way of playing aces from him. But he won a huge pot. And Canada has made one call. Woo! We have the pair here, so I'm going to barrel him versus this guy. Because he probably just doesn't want to fold anything. So it's for value. And he had pocket queens. Oh dear. Oh my god. And now he sits out and leaves with the money. Nah. She took my money. Yeah, it's PLO10, but in PLO10 it's a huge difference if someone is... People call, and of course if we check we value bet our hand, but there, when he calls the turn and shoves the river, people don't shove as bluffs. When people might bluff if you check to them some players that are capable of doing aggressive things, but these kind of players, they don't dork the river with the pot unless they have pretty much what they think is nuts. And the fish left table 4. Every table is turning to be a bad one. I'm going to open this one here. So once again, we are in a spot where we created few buying losses in the first half an hour, and now for the rest 1.5 hours we are trying to climb up. Table 3, I'm going to check these pocket kings. There are some turns that improve us, any 8, any club, any king. And problem here is if I call, we have only 2 outs to the nuts. How often the turn is going to help us? 1 8, 12 or 13 out. It's 1 out of 4. I'm going to peel the turn. Jack is often decent card for us, as it might close the action. And now if the river is blank, we often have the best hand, but now river is the worst card on the deck. I'm going to call the min bet, of course, and here's the flush. And something strange going on table 4. Min open, min 3 bet, min everything. But we are on a button. Nice to see the flop. Now we miss it. Here against the calling station, I'm just going to dunk for a pot and pot turn and probably lose the pot on the river. Oh, we don't. He had king. Oh dear. Here on table 2, I'm going to raise the flop because we have 9-5. Where we block pretty much everything he can have, and he makes a small bet. But when he calls, he often has a king in his hand, and then he often has ace. So I think he has just a king. He has to fold the flop, but he doesn't know that. And now he bets half a pot. If 9 and 5s and 10s are outs, then we have 8 outs. It's almost enough, but can we value bet 9 or 5 on the river? No. So we have to fold. Trying to find some good tables. This Muerto is almost on every table that we are trying to get into. And the problem is that he has position on us on almost every table. Table 4, min open, great hand. And then we see bet the flop, and he folds. And nice way to make money. Table 2 we have aces. Oh, what a tight players. Here's one that is good one. This one is good one. Here on table 4, ace high board is always good to see, but when he calls, I just give up. And he pots the turn. Table 2 we open aces and the flop is pretty horrible. We have one calling station and we have a nit, so actually we can see because this nit is going to fold a lot. He's not going to make moves when this one is on the hand, and the big pen can easily call with a lot of worse hands. But they both call and turn completes a straight draw, so we just check. And queen would be nice unless it completes the flush, so now whatever they had on the flop, either one of them now has it. And here's the flush, and here's the flush. Well, we had the best hand on the turn and got a free showdown, so can't complain. At table 1 we flop top 2 and overpair on this board, definitely raising. This is sort of aggressive, can get it in with almost anything, and this guy shouldn't have that many made hands. Level 2 we got a 3-bet from Snatch. Can we 4-bet? He has 3-bet kings. I'm just going to call because we are in position. And I'm probably going to raise him on the flop. And he checks, so I'm going to bet. And hope he just folds it. If he doesn't have ace, it's hard for him to call. And he folds, so it worked. Team Canada made another call. It's 3-2. Woo! Go Canada. One more. And it's in penalty shoot. Nice. Here he raises us. So now the question is, can we call with the flush draw 110? So we have to win 5.5, and after the call is 4.1. So we need to get around half a pot value. Not sure if we can, and it's queen high, so I'm going to fold. If I had more information on him, then, like if I read that he is not going to fold his straight, even if the flush completes and I bet, then it's an easy call. But now, Mr. Opium is watching PLO 20k. The reason for sitting with 40 BBs is that the idea is that someone is sitting with small stack when other players have big stacks. And the idea is that they can get their money in a three-way pot, and the big stacks have so much behind that they are going to play each other out of the pot. So like If I had here table 3, now button opens, this guy calls, and I 3-bet with a good hand with 40 BBs. They both call. I'm all in pre-flop. But post-flop, button, there's going to be a side pot, and the button bluffs small blind out from the pot. So there's going to be a lot of dead money in the pot. So the Finnish poker player Jens Kylänen has played a lot of high stakes with small stack compared to the others, and the idea is that when there's big stacks involved in 3-way, 4-way pot, there's going to be a lot of dead money because one of them is going to fold before showdown. So that's the reason. And no, it doesn't work in micros because the rate is so high and there's not going to be that many big stacks. And even if there are, they are not going to bluff each other. That's what happens at micros with big stacks. No one bluffs anymore. And when you go up in stakes, the bigger the stacks are, the more the regulars bluff each other. But at micros, if we have a big pot and we are 200 pips deep, if anyone bets or raises the river, he 99% of the time has pretty much the nuts, or at least close to it. There's this let me lose something. Play each table, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20. 24 tables. 17, 12. And pretty much he has the range that he's going to open from any position except small blind. So normal micros, multi-tabling grinder who has a set range of hands he opens. So he has 24 tables on his screen, so he's not even looking at his own position. He just sees that when at one of the tables he has a hand that hits his pre-flop starting range, then he opens it, and then if the hand goes to post, then he starts to play it. And these kind of players are really easy to play against because they are probably not going to make a lot of moves. If he's playing 24 tables and his positional awareness is higher, then it's kind of trickier because then he has time to check his tables and make decisions. So then he can make moves, but as long as his positional stats are all the same, he's probably not paying attention to anything but his own hand. So then if we can find some leaks from him, we can exploit him as much as we want. Table 3, we open double paired hand. And we hit the middle set. And we see it, and let's see what happens. Muerto calls. Probably has a flush draw here quite often. So now I kind of hope this Ivanovna raises with weaker hand, so we can shove against this guy. And the flush completes, which sucks, and it completes straight. It's a real killer. And he checks behind, which he might have a small flush. I'm probably going to check fold. His river aggression is really low. He's kind of player that doesn't bluff the river. Yeah, and he had pair of fives and just open-ended. This call is horrible on the flop. Oh my god. I'm not sure if he's floating. I don't think he's capable of doing floats. So PLO 10 rep calls with pair and open-ender, but the thing is that 6 is not a nut out for him, so he has only 3 outs to the nuts. 3 aces that are non-hard. But got lucky once again. And the color code here on Muerto is this pink means he's an ace lover. Here on table 1 I'm calling any 4 against tight players, because on most boards we can float them, we can bluff them, and he pots here. We have the cut shot and we have the nut flush blocker. So I'm going to call here and I'm going to bluff any diamond turns 5, 6. Of course 4 we would bet. And when he checks, I think I can bluff the turn as a semi-bluff. If he has just an overpair, it's hard for him to call. He might have nothing but the weak flush draw, and river completes the flush and pairs the board. We have the nut flush blocker. So I'm going to bet the river. To make him fold all his better made hands than I do. And on the ice hockey, Team Canada tied the game, but 1 minute after, Team Sweden makes 1 goal. So those crappy Swedes are leading 4-3. Sucks. He has a neat pre-flop. I'm going to mark red pretty much all these tight pre-flop players where, like, when someone is playing 16 and 10, or this click me, I'm loser, whatever his name is kind of player that it's really hard to get value from. Because their pre-flop range is so strong and they are not going to make a lot of mistakes post-flop. And on the outside table, we hit the 9-outer inside wrap. We bet and button raises, so I'm going to call. Let's see, now we hit the nuts, and then I'm trying to check raise, hope he overplays his set. Of course, if he checks, it sucks, but... And he pots it, so now we have the nuts. If he has a nuts with redraw, then it sucks, but no way I'm going to just call here. Give him free card. And if he folds, it's really strange. Oh, didn't have time to open. First the 1 table. Oh, it's here. That's why I didn't find it. And now he thinks for a long time. Not sure if he has a set and he's trying to figure out the pot odds, but if he has a set, he's not. If he pot folds the turn, it's really horrible. Or maybe he had blockers, but then why does he have to think? Really strange place. And this is one reason why people love Zoom, because in Zoom you don't have to monitor your tables. But here's what happens. Each one of these tables were up here when I opened them. And of course all the other ones want to join them and the fishies leave, so slowly these tables go down. So pretty much every 15 or 20 minutes we have to find new ones. I'm actually going to sit out this table 1 because there's only one fish and she's short stacked. So I'm coming here. Let's see what happens. I'm trying to find even this Kalinauskas, he's some sort of wreck. So I'm not sure if this table, at least this 73 is a good customer. On the outside table we 3-bet from the button versus rep. 2 paired hands and we get cold call from side player and we get 4-bet. So yeah, now the hand plays itself. We have, of course, we're going to call, and then if we hit the flop, we get it in. If we don't, we just ditch the hand and we don't hit the flop, so we fold. But here we're going to hit the set 1 out of, oh, if he cold calls with kings, it's horrible. Wow. And oh, king jack, then of course he's going to call. And he has aces with the flush draw. Wow. Table 4, calling with crappy hands. Let's make moves. Here we've got a 3-bet and cold call. We can definitely call for set value. We have flush draws, we have position, we have everything, and we flop pretty much nothing. Here, when he checks, we bet, and if he folds, it's good for us. Now he calls, and we make the straight, but the flush completes. Now, if we bet, he's going to call with flushes and folds the rest. So, if he has flush, we are going to lose 1 bet. We get better value by checking here and pretty much calling any river. It's better than betting here. And now I'm just going to check behind, and he has just aces. Wow. That's one way of playing aces. Did he have a... Well, he has the cut shot on the flop, but... It's like, instead of c-betting you check call, it's really hard to play the hand. Oh, he checks. Here, if he c-bets, it's a lot better. And he pots the river. The thing is that Jack King, the only thing I can beat is total float from the flop, and I don't have that information, so I'm going to fold the aces. And here he had aces that he doesn't see bet on paired boards. Just makes a call down. I'm going to make a note of that. Nuts on table 2. Let's see if we can get any action, and we don't. It's three-way hand, another aces. Let's see if we can get any action now. One call and we hit just a cut shot. I'm going to see, but makes my life a lot easier. On the outside table, we have a full house and the opponent calls. We get the value from... Oh, he had a 5 in his hand. So it's trip 5 versus trip 5s, and he's just crushing us. But we make the full house on the turn, and I value bet the river and he calls. So that was nice setup to our favor. On table 4 I'm going to call at least one bet with top pair, top kicker, and we pick up the cut shot on the turn. I'm going to call. And now we see if he has ace jack, he's not going to fold it to one bet. And he had 8-7, he picks 2 pairs on the turn. So we had a lot of outs versus him, 33% on the turn. Trying to see what kind of players we have here on the tables. If our hand was suited to the ace, I would probably 3-bet this, just to create bigger pot with the really strong hand. Now it's king queen suited, and they just fold the flop, so they are giving up pretty easily. And we flop the top set. I'm going to make a really small bet because we are blocking all the kings. And just on the other hand, they folded to this flop quite easily. So we try to get some calls from straight draws. And of course, one of them completes. I'm still going to bet for value. And he calls, and the river is even more horrible. And oh, he had just the 2 pairs, so we got pretty lucky there. And on table 3 we got 3-bet. Cold call from Muerto. Hand is not great, but we have position. And in 3-bet pot it's often quite easy to figure out what to do. And we have the open-ender to the nuts, back to a flush draw, so I think it's a great spot to just check back and see if we hit the turn. We do, and it's great, it's aces. Table 2, an aggressive guy 3 bets. I'm just going to call. And here I'm just going to shove. And he probably has Jack 10 too. And oh, that sucks. He had Jack 10 with the flush draw, so he was free rolling us. Wow. Jesus Christ. Here on table 2 I'm raising the bluff, but he doesn't fold, so I'm not going to barrel him. I mean, this Muerto is 31-19-5, so he looks kind of decent player, but he cold calls 3-bet with Jack 10-9 deuce out of position. So, oh my god. That cold call is so minus EV that kind of sad. The thing is that he makes really bad plays. He plays a lot of yellow 10 and he's winning a lot of money. He's making a lot of profit and he just makes bad decisions, and like they're nuts versus nuts with the free roll. That's super lucky. It's kind of makes me sad to see that a player that makes a lot of mistakes is just winning a lot of money. Of course, it's good for us if he makes mistakes, but poker isn't fair. I'm here 3-bet from unknown, and we got cold call, so no way I'm folding. We have position, we can see the flop. And we hit 3 pairs. It's his first 3-bet, but it's only out of 6 hands, and he pots the flop. We are blocking everything, so I don't think we can fold. SPR is under 2. So we hit it in, and if he has aces, it looks pretty dummy, but we block a lot of aces, and he has just a big wrap. And we win the pot, so. If I had just a king 8 here, it would be totally different. Like if I had king 8, jack 5, some kind of really weird garbage hand, then I would fold. But now when we block ace, it really reduces a lot of aces from his range, and he's unknown. We have no information about his 3-bet range. Now we do. He has one outside table that now has 6 regulars, I'm included. The average players per flop, or the average VPIP, is 9%. Oh my god. How can anyone win money there? The outside table, we 3-bet double paired hand and we hit the top set, and it's good flop for anyone to make moves. Of course, they're kind of short stacked. And when he calls, when we have less than pot on the turn, we're going to shove any turn. Morito is 3-betting aces, aces, aces. I'm going to call and see if we hit the flop, and we hit top pair and the flush draw, so have to get it in. And he has aces with diamonds probably. And no, he has just, wow. Oh, we win the pot. And here he folds, wow. The 7 is really bad turn because it completes the only draw, but he managed to fold. Wow, here he 3-bet with... Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Here, Ivanhoe donks to us. And he donks a lot. 4 out of 11, so that's why I call it pocket kings. And now when the ace comes, I'm going to call the river, because the ace, there's a lot of aces from his range. But there's not value. There isn't a hand that he's going to call. If we bet that, we can beat. And he had ace this time. Wow, he doesn't bet the river. But there I'm just playing versus his range, because when he donks, now 42% of the flops, either he has been really lucky and hit every board, or he's making bluffs. I don't understand why he doesn't bet the river for value. I would have bet. And we can 3-bet from this guy. It's his first 3-bet ever. Nice spot for us. Of course, we are deep. It's kind of sucky. But we hit the nuts, which makes it a lot easier. And he doesn't bet. Ah, crap. I'm going to bet the river. He's never going to raise me without the flush, but he might make a hero call with 2 pairs, even aces. And he's thinking, which is nice, and he folded, so every time when he thinks that long and folds, 42-5 player is never thinking just to play meta games or try to convince that he would have a tough decision. He was actually thinking about calling, which means that value bet was quite good. It was close for being successful. Here we hit top pair and the flush draw. I'm actually going to pot because he's such a shorty. SPR 2.5 or something. Here we have flush draw and no cut shot. Definitely bet, and here we can min 3-bet. God, I hate min 3-betters. And half a pot and min raise. Min raise against min 3-bet or min open, whatever, but these guys are minimum everywhere. Half a pot 3-bet min raise, half a pot donk on the turn call. This is so weird, and probably neither one of them has anything. He might have aces or queens. Such a weird line, these money trains. Half a pot on the flop, calls, half a pot on the turn, and check folds the river. I don't know what the heck his turn bet was. Really strange. Here this stack is really aggressive. Not sure if this is a good spot to be, but with around 100 BB stack, we can often check raise versus him. And we have a couple of high VPIP players, so I'm going to stick with this table for a while. We have around half an hour left in the session. Table 1, one bit too low and we block the jacks. I'm going to c-bet this. Often we win the pot here and people can't call with worse hands, and if they raise, we are definitely beat. Table 1, 3 Broadway cards and suited ace, definitely get to this multi-way pot. Here we flop the wrap and the middle pair. And we get smallish raise. We have so many nut outs that easy call. And now it's just a matter of pot odds. We have 3 aces, 3 threes, 3 fives, 4 sixes. We have 13 outs, going to hit 28% of the time. Which means that we need 33% here. We have 33 and it's so close. If he has 2 pairs, we actually win the pot if we improve. But don't think. And here money range, we have open-ender and flush draw, so we are going to call. And here I'm just going to fold because we don't improve when his 2 pairs beat us. Table 1 we missed the river, kind of sucks. We don't have any made hands, so we can't even bluff catch him. So probably even if he bets with any kind of, and he had just the pocket fives, so he had a draw that he bets to us, but his draw beats us because he had the pocket 5, but we have a lot of equity on the turn. 38. Didn't get lucky there. So we lost 2 big pots, where table 2 the decision was pretty close. If his range is just sets, then we can fold, but if he has any 2 pairs in his range, then I think the call becomes marginally plus EV, but really smallish. So it's kind of same if we call or if we want to fold. And against these really aggressive guys, if I make a pot size 3-bet here, he's never going to 4-bet me with garbage. So I'm just making fish moves and click back to him and hope he spaz out. But he just calls and the flop is really bad for us. I'm going to call once. And probably when we pick up the cut shot, I'm going to hold the turn unless he pots and he checks. Which means that he often has some kind of made hand. Oh, he doesn't have the straight ever. But we can't represent the straight either. And he bets so quick. He often has some kind of weak 2 pairs that he turns to a bluff. And the thing he pots, if his bet size was smaller, I actually think I could call. Here we have the nut flush draw. I don't want to raise and get this guy to fold, so I'm just going to call. And he checks. 4 hits some of the flop range, so I think I can bluff the river. And he just folds. Runner straight. And now we wait. And Sweden, Canada is still 4-3. Oh, nothing neat. Why are here we have out of 21 hands 5 and 0. So out of 25 hands he has called or limped 1 hand. And I just can't understand why people play such a tight game in PLO 10. I could understand if you want to be a neat in PLO 50 where if you win that 1 BP per 100 hands you can still make at least a couple of dollars per day. But when you start to be 5 and 0 player at PLO 10 and PLO 5, your average is going to be, average win rate is going to be so low, and the rate is such a high portion on PLO 10. I don't think you can even beat the rate with 5 and 10 stats. So why would people do that? I don't know if he's multi-tabling. If he's playing one table, it's horrible. If he's playing many tables, why? I have no idea. would be nice to sometimes talk with one of those nits, super nits, and just ask them, why are you playing with VPIP 9 or 5 in PL10? Or here, where's the, oh, he has left the one guy who is playing 24 tables PL10. And I have no idea, like, if you're capable of playing 24 tables, then you should have some skills in poker. But when you have no positional awareness, do you make money in PL10 by opening same 12% range from any position? I have no idea. But it's such a strange, like, play 12 tables and triple your win rate by doing a lot better decisions. Because the rate is so high, it's really hard to beat the games if you can't beat the rate. And it's quite easy actually to beat the rate and make profit, but then you have to do more than just wait for the nuts and try to get value. And here some kind of greenish player min raises us. We have trips and he never has a straight. I'm not sure what he's representing, but I'm going to call. And here we have the straight, so I'm going to barrel the turn. They have a lot of flush draws in his range. And now he shoves $2. Kind of sucks, but yeah, I think we have to call. And we have only 2 outs. So he had to set. Well, I've seen people, he might have like kings with flush draw. And he just shoves the turn because he has such a small stack. But yeah. We ran to the nuts. Almost. Therefore, same kind of situation. We have the straight, and now we have a queen. We block some of the 2-pair out. So I'm going to just protect my hand versus flush draws. And on the river, I'm going to check call. And he doesn't bet his missed flush draw. Oh, he had a trips too. Wow. We were flipping on the turn. I'm going to open one table more. Let's see if we can find some juicy ones for the last 15 minutes. On the outside table, I complete from the big blind, and we flop the word. We have the flush draw, we have the set, we have the open ender. And let's hope he has something. And he just folds. Huh. People are giving up a lot of flops out there. Instead of c-betting, he just checks and gives up. And that's probably one of the biggest leaks for many players at micros. I'm going to see bet half a pot here on table 3, because I've seen people call with pocket kings and queens, even in 3-bet pots a lot. And we have the second nut, so even if he raises, I'm not folding ever. He's a shorty, and if he has a 5, then he has it. So the biggest lead for a lot of players is, oh, Team Canada tied the game. Woo! 10 minutes in the last period and it's 4-4. So the big mistake is that people give up a lot of flops that they could have won if they just see, but they think that, okay, I missed the board, I give up. So they are kind of waiting for the flops they hit. And if you just give up on all the scary boards, here it's a pivot card. I think I can peel when he bets half a pot. Oh, now I can't. Meh. Meh. And now he shows some really trashy hand and it sucks. And set versus kings with the cut shot. PLO is easy. So, as I was saying, if you always give up when you don't hit the flop, then your c-bet is around 50% or 60% or even lower. And if I see any player like here, oh, this is 73 guy, it's not this Maida who's super neat, then I kind of know that if he c-bets, he has hit the board. Here I'm going to bet the turn for value with my 2 pairs. He has a lot of flush draws. Of course now the flush hits and he wins the pot. Yeah, he pots, so we think for a while and we fold. But we are going to hit the flop. He's not going to hit his hand often enough. It's profitable for us. Like there on the turn, when we were ahead, we got the money in. And when he got ahead of us, he didn't win any money, so it's good for us. Here, the flop is rainbow. So either he has a weaker made hand or ace queen, or he has the straight draw. So I'm going to check here. And if he bets the river, I think yeah, he pots, so we have to fold. I don't think he's bluffing that often. Because we still have sets, ace jack, strong hands that he's not going to bet this like with 8, 9, 10, even that might be part of his range, but he's not going to pot the river with those hands. And this is the calling station. I'm going to call from the big blind. And I'm going to go once, and if we hit 2 pairs, we got a lot of value, but ace is kind of bad. And we hit 2 pairs on the river. Now I don't think we should ever bet here. So I'm going to check. Table 1, we hit the set. And we win the pot, which is nice. And hope he bluffs on us. Turn is blank. So we bet again. And now he folds. On the outside table, we were trying to, after 3-bet, we tried to represent aces versus guy that makes a go down with ace in his hand. Like here, I thought he has a flush draw, so that's why I bet the river. Because we have only 10 high. But yeah, he had ace deuce. Turn goes check check. Too bad we didn't have value hand, but now we know we can just value bet him with pretty wide range. People are waiting for so long. Here we make a small 3-bet. And now I hope he has a king in his hand and he calls. That's great unless he has pocket kings. But now we try to get value. How he folds. Bummer. It didn't work out as a good story because he folded. Here fold 71%, so I'm just going to make a really exploitable half a pot c-bet. But he's going to fold if he misses the board. And if we check, we just create a situation where we are out of position and it's really hard to play the turn and river. So once we check, we are just hoping for showdown. And often if we go to showdown, we are not probably going to win it often. We are almost about to... Oh, Team Canada has made a goal. Tyler Ennis with power play. 6.5 minutes into the third period. Woo! So I think it's good time to advertise something that is coming out on summer. There's going to be a PLO summer camp. And there's not, or the advertise for it, or the thread information is not out yet. It's going to be in this week or next week. The summer camp is sort of a study group that has private coachings and group coachings and private games that are reviewed later with all the holo cards visible, and there's going to be a lot of neat stuff. It's kind of crash course for PLO, and the actual price is not set, but it's going to be around the amount of normal 10 hours of normal coaching. Here on Table 2 I'm going to actually bet the turn because their calling range is still quite wide, and with King we beat a lot of overpairs they might be calling with 5-6. And he just folds, so it worked out fine. So summer camp is kind of month-long crash course. There's going to be a few private sessions. There's going to be some lectures with all the members. One camp consists of 4 to 6 members. So there's going to be group coachings with set topics. There's going to be pair coachings. Here we have a double cut shot to the nuts. And we could have c-bet and min raise. And the thing is that if we call and he shoves, but if they have 2 pairs, we are in a good shape. Oh no, okay. We didn't have time. I think I would have called. I'm not sure. When they check, they don't have anything. Not that strong. Probably 2 pairs or a draw. Now he puts. Wow, this guy is making some weird lines. River aggression 100, 4 out of 4. Like, min raise on the flop, okay, might be a strong line. Totally blank turn. If he has set 2 pairs, why would he check here? And then pot the river, it looks so bluffy to me. I would probably call with my pocket queens there if I was still in the hand. Yeah, so the summer camp is a month-long study group that are held in June, and if there are enough participants in July too, but there's going to be more information on our forums this week or the next one, so pay attention. If you are thought about getting coaching for PLO, or you are looking for good study group, or you are trying to find another poker players, PLO players with the same level of skills, then it's a good opportunity. And each camp group will have own Skype group where I will be available all the time for the discussions and to answer questions. It's not going to be online. It's going to be online camp. You don't have to move to Finland. It's going to be online, but we are not going to stream publicly anything. So all the coachings are in private group. Tempo 2, we get some 3-bet, and of course we're going to call. We can hit the flop really nicely, but this flop is not a nice one. Let's see if he makes the same line. Min raise. No, he calls. Now he probably checks the turn and then pots the river. Oh. And now but he's so bluffy. Oh my god. I really hope he has a hand and we can see what he has. Just don't fold. And he shoves. Wow. It's like this line doesn't make sense to either one of them. And he has a set. And he has a... Oh my god. These people are so strange. And here we raise the flop because we have 2 pairs and blockers to all the strong hands, but when he calls, and if he has a queen, he often has a king, so I don't think he's going to fold any 2 pairs. So the turn, oh, we actually win the pot. What the heck can he have? Queen 10, 7, 3. Well, that's one option. Here, oh, we flopped nicely. On table 3, we have the cut shot and 2 backdoor flush draws, and when they both check and he checks the flop, neither one of them have the straight, so we often have the best hand, so I'm betting for protection. Here I'm making a really small bet and hope someone gets creative, and they don't. Now I think aces is the best hand often, and it is, but there's not much value in betting. And one option there, actually, now as I think we don't have to protect our hand, no one has aces, so we don't have to be afraid of any turn. One option is to check, because this fish fat, whatever his name is, he has done some really not so great lines with probably bluffs. So of course if we check here, no one is going to bluff as if they are thinking players, but he doesn't think at all what he can represent or what he does represent. So one option is to check and give him an opportunity to do one of those really crazy bluffs. Who would be willing to participate in poker summer camp? Well, you should know that we have a really nice summer in Finland. There's going to be sun for at least 3 days in the summer, and the rest is just raining, snow or rain. Team Canada makes a 6th call to empty net, so 4-6. Go Canada. Turn is nice one. It opens up the wrap for us. Not sure if we should raise when he pots. Let's just call. And now the thing is, can we bluff the river? I think we can, because we have only a pair of 3s. But if he has like a jack, he's going to win. If he has a weak ace, he probably should fold it. So we can make him fold a lot of better hands. On table 4, paired board, bluffing, but Pepper Mario doesn't want to fold. We pick up the wrap on the turn, so I think check is best. And if he bets, he probably has the flush or some slow played jacks. If he has just an overpair, he's not going to bet the turn. So, if you are now watching this live and you think that you might be interested in really intense month with PLO, now you know you should pay attention to forums. And if you're watching this on Twitch or YouTube later, come join us, check the forums, and see what it is about. I personally think that it's really neat opportunity to learn a lot from PLO in a short period of time and get some fellow players that are in a similar spot in the learning curve. Trips. Not sure. If we check, no one's going to bet unless they have like a jack or something. So I'm just going to bet. They will have a lot of draws that we'll call, and Queen 9 is good. It gives us full house and hits their drawing range quite well. But now it sucks. And his river aggression is so low that he puts like, if he does this with the flush, it's a horrible play. Too bad we don't have the full house. So just going to fold. Political asylum. What country does Mr. Opium live? I think it would be hard to be a refugee if you come from any civilized country. And now I think it's time to start closing our session and see how much we lost today, because I think we end up being negative. We lost so many big pots. Like, there were a couple of big pots where we had the odds to draw, but we just couldn't hit the draws. Now we pick up 2 pairs and a weak flush draw. The weak flush draw works here pretty much as a blocker to flush draws. Because when people call, they don't know that they have only 7 outs. And he raises us. And he's really tight one. Just going to fold. And double suited queens, but side one opened from button, just going to call. And let's see if we hit the flop in some way. And we sort of do. The problem is that if button C bets big and we just call, our hand is pretty face up, and in PLO then we can't really use our blockers if king or jack comes. I don't think you can get political asylum from Ukraine, but when he checks, weird. He might have kings, but we should have a lot of folding equity versus naked kings here. And even if he calls, queen is out, deuce is out, six is often out, any heart might be out. So I'm quite happy to bet here. Or then he has aces and he's just trying to be tricky and now get maximum value from us. Or, of course, if he has aces with flush draw, well, still I think he should bet the flop. There's so many hands that can call him and get maximum value. But wow, he's really thinking long. He must have a hard decision. Now the river pairs the board. What the heck did he have? Ace. So he has an ace and cut shot, but he doesn't c-bet the flop, and I can just wonder why. I'm going to barrel the turn, because he has a lot of straws in his range. And when the board pairs, this is like one of the reasons why I really want to c-bet a lot of boards. Because with c-bet, when we bet the flop, now we can represent the full house on the turn. But if I check the flop and bet the turn, everyone who can think at least for a bit knows that I don't have a full house ever. So they can raise me as a bluff and they have a huge folding equity. Or they can just call. So that's why c-betting flops is so essential. Here on the outside table, we flop the nuts, we are happy. We bet, he calls, turn completes, all the straights, flush. He checks, we check, we are happy to get the free river, and the river is, if the turn is the worst card, river is the second worst, and he bets and we have to fold. And that happens a lot in PLO. I think we can close the session now. I can put one table here where we can see just a few more hands. Well, Mr. Opium, if you ever come to Finland, then come to Finland. If we have a summer meeting with Poker Manias, of course, all our members from Ukraine or any other country are probably more than welcome to join. We had a meeting last summer and it was quite epic. I'm not going to give you any dirty details because my mom might be watching this on YouTube. But yeah, it was fun. We had sauna and we had some burgers. We had some drunken people, and then we had even more drunken people. We popped the nuts on table one. We hope Money Trains does something stupid, but they don't. They phone. Eki says something in Finnish. This is English chat. Hello. So Team Canada won, but we didn't. Probably lost around 2 buy-ins. Not sure what the EV is. Might be close to that. Because we won some flips and we lost some. We are pretty much losing the amount that there were the big pots where we had the equity to call but didn't hit and we folded, so it doesn't show in EV line. And then there were few setups. We were in a winning part on a couple of setups, but we run a lot more into a lot more setups where we were the one who takes the hits. But it happens in the long run, they will even out. So every time when you lose a hand with the setup, just don't worry about it. And of course, if you win a hand with setups, you shouldn't be that happy about it, because in the long run, you just didn't win any money. We can play one more hand, and after that I'm going to show you the graph for today. It's not that rare to see a drunken people in Finnish summer. Last hand and pocket jacks. Let's play it for the sake of last hand. And let's create a big multi-way pot where we flop the quads or set. Looking good. Oh, now we just have to hit the flop. One time. No, not even close, but we have the open ender. And some folding equity. One bit too low, well 7-6 is medium, so it's one bit too medium cards, but still hardish for people to hit this really hard. And we have a lot of folding equity here. Oh. We won the last hand. And Eki is wondering why everyone speaks English. Because this is the English chat. Life is full of wonders. I'm going to show you the graph. It's here. Here's the one where we lost the 300 pp pot with 55% favorite, or where we 45 probably. And here are the two where we had a draw and the equity to call but didn't hit our draw. It's here. And well, here are the results. Minus $6.6 and running one bin under EV. Can't complain. -6. If we had won at least either one of those pots where we had the equity to call, this would have been positive session. And if the setups were even, then this would be a positive session. So I'm quite happy how we played. The only hand that can create some discussion is the 4 house, where the opponent flop was Jack 9 deuce. We had Jack deuce, turn is Jack, and river is ace, and opponent dunks for a pot. So I still think folding is the best option there. Thank you. We will have the next session on next Wednesday. Friday, day after tomorrow, we will have the Finnish evening. And stay tuned on the forum for the poker camp, PLO camp, and if you are watching this on Twitch or YouTube and you are not a member of PokerIMania, just come to this address, pokerimania.com/forum, and join us today. Thank you and have a good night. Bye bye.